Welcome to another episode of New to Me. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and today we are taking a look at the Kondor Blue half cage for the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K and 6K. Now, before we start the review, I do want to let everybody know that this was sent to me by the good folks at Kondor Blue, so thanks guys for sending this out for my review, but you will still be getting my honest opinion. And if you know how I feel about Kondor and Blue stuff, you can pretty much guess what I'm going to say about this anyway. But with that said, let's jump over to the workbench and check it out. Okay, so here we are with the Kondor Blue half cage, and first thing you'll notice when you take it out of the box, and the thing that really surprised me, is just how incredibly lightweight this thing is and how durable it is. It was very, very surprising how light this is, and how light the actual handle is. Okay, so first off, let's talk about the cage, and the cage is pretty awesome. I love the fact that they gave you these actual little diagrams here to tell you how big the screw holes are on this thing. Really cool, especially if somebody's new to filmmaking. That is a great thing to have. So you will get a bunch of 3/8 and 1/4 on this. Love the fact that this comes with a bubble level, and bubble level, when you put the handle on, is actually in a really terrific place. Most of the time, like on a tripod or something like that, the bubble level is hidden in darkness and you really can't see it. Or it's, you just put stuff, once you add rails and stuff, then you can't really see it. But here you could really, really see it. There is a top screw hole here, so you can screw your Blackmagic into the top, but you will not need it because the bottom will suffice. And one thing I really love is they give you these metal shoes here that are replaceable. I can't tell you how many times I've bent these and I was just stuck with it. I did that on my one of my GH4s. It just got all bent out of shape and there was no way to replace it. And then we have this safety lock here, this device, which is where you attach the handle. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this later when I talk about the handle. So swinging around to the side, we get a lot of different mounting options. And we also get this little springy bit here, and we have this little notch here. And that's probably for adding a handle or other accoutrement, as you will. I'm not really sure what this springy thing is for. So if anybody knows what this button is for, or what works with this, just let me know in the notes below. But all in all, seems pretty solid, pretty well made. And then finally, swinging around to the bottom, Kondor Blue has done something very, very intelligent, and that is to bolt in the 1/4-20. Now, I do have the full small rig cage, and one thing that drives me crazy is every time I detach my camera, the plate and the screw fall out, and I lose them. And here, Kondor Blue has had great foresight to make this sort of permanent. You can unscrew this with a smaller Allen key wrench, but it is permanent. Now, right here, there is a ring in here. This is the 3/8, but there is a ring in here, so I'm guessing that you take this adapter ring out, and this could be larger, and that's for if you're using a bigger quick release plate or different kinds of screws. So this thing really is super versatile when you're attaching it to sticks or to a tripod or anything else. So let's talk about the handle. Now, there are 3/8 all over this thing. Now, what I really love is in the top, they give you 3 adapter rings for 1/4-20s. And you really can adapt this thing. You've got 2 on the side, 2 there, and then 3 up top. Very, very cool. And again, you get one of these great shoes here that are replaceable, all metal, super awesome. Now, one thing I will say is if you notice these small holes, that's so you can add more of these or more plates to this thing. So say you've got a mic, a light, or something else you want to attach to here, not a problem. And of course, you get this hole in the back, which I think is for a rod or something, not really sure. And again, in the front, you get a large hole and you can mount a plate there too. Swinging around to the side, you get a plate. First of all, you get thumb screws. Now, this is something that drove me crazy with my small rig cage is, again, they gave me screws and I had to carry around a hex key like this, and they would always get lost. So I'm glad that they've given us thumb screws. Now, there is a place for a rail, so you can mount a monitor or a follow focus, which is very cool. And again, a thumb screw just to attach the handle. So one thing I do want to talk about when attaching the handle is, first of all, you get this attachment piece here, and I'll tell you, not all cages come with this. I know the small rig did not, but this is actually included. This is just a little locking mechanism for the handle. And one thing you'll notice is this springy button here, and that's because, let's go ahead and slap on the handle here. Now let's say you've set up your camera, you're all ready to go, and you pick up your camera and you forget to tighten the thumb screw. Well, you're not going to have a problem because it is a safety lock, which is an awesome feature to have, because I can't tell you how many times I've forgotten to tighten the thumb screw or tighten a screw, and my whole camera has ended up on the floor. So this is really, really, really terrific. So let's go ahead and just line this up to the center, and there we go. Very, very cool. Really love this cage. Let's jump over to the main table for my final thoughts. So my final thoughts on the Kondor Blue half cage for the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4 and 6K is, this is easily one of my favorite cages that I have ever owned. I can honestly say that. From how deceivingly light it is, to the amazing ergonomics and how good it feels in my hands, this is a fantastic camera cage. Now, I do have the small rig full camera cage on the camera that's filming me now, and I have used the half cage, and those are quite a bit heavier, and that's great if you want to attach a whole bunch of stuff or you need heft for like a shoulder rig, but I would have no qualms about taking this handle off, slapping this on my gimbal, and you'll get your gimbal shots no problem. Really fantastic. I also love the half cage and how light it is, because you can go with a small running gun factor like I have here, battery SD card, Canon 40mm, speed booster, and very, very, very simple to take this out anywhere and just shoot, run and gun. You could also grab the grip here, and because it does have this kind of notch here for other attachments, you could actually get your hands around that, and it actually feels like a really good grip. So you can really get those good steady cam handheld shots, and you don't need to go out and buy like a wooden handle or something. It really, really is great that I could just grab the cage as it is. So all in all, I love everything about this cage. I like the fact that you get these metal shoes that are replaceable if they get bent out of shape. The bubble level you can actually see, whereas on some tripods it's in the dark, or even on some cages you can't see it, or it's just in a bad place. You get a place for a rail. You get thumb screws, which are always welcomed. And again, you have this wonderful safety lock in case you forget to lock your thumb screws. And lastly, you have the 1/4-20, which is bolted in. So again, unlike my small rig, I'm not going to lose all these pieces, and I don't have to constantly carry a hex keys around with me. So all in all, this is clearly one of my favorite cages that I have ever owned. I can honestly say that, and I highly recommend it if you have a Blackmagic, picking one of these up. So I want to thank the folks over at Kondor Blue for shipping this out to me, and I want to know what you thought. So if you have any questions or comments, you can drop them in the notes below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to mash the bell button to be notified when we drop a brand new video. And feel free to use the links in the description as it helps out the channel. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and this is new to me.